Good evening, brother. Welcome to the Bottom discussion. How are you today, Linford? How you doing?
Well, I'm great. It's a beautiful Friday evening here from my side, so I'm happy to be here. Everything is okay by the grace of God. So all is okay.
God is
And how are you
okay.
too?
I'm absolutely great and I'm thankful to be in paradise today because we don't know where we came from, we don't know where we're going. But I think earth living is paradise being on earth because when you are dead, nothing you're gone. So yeah, it's good to be in paradise and to hear my voice once more on this program. Welcome to the bottom line, Jamal.
Thank you very much. Do you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thank you for having me once again. I'm sorry for coming late. I had some technical issues. I think I'm sorted. It's good to be back. Always good to be back to discuss issues that affect us as Hema, as Liberia as well. So it's always good to share your opinions with the audience. I think I want to once again ask all those to see us right now to share the show. It's going to be a nice one tonight, I guess.
Absolutely. It will be a next one. And we will be discussing Mama Liberia today after the impasse. And then we're going to Cote now, where is the country hailing with the Cote Hill resort in Liberia with this situation that is happening from five convicted lawmakers now it tend to four because four is just focused on the four of the CDC. But then something about the woman who in the picture, her name seems to disappear quietly. So we'll be looking at that. So Jamal, what say you? Liberia and also Linford, what's going on, guys?
Just to give a background of what's going on right now, we'll be deep on tonight on our tonight topic. We'll be discussing. Actually, we'll be discussing Liberia, the issues of the former Speaker of the House of in Liberia and four others. I mean, yeah, four others been was accused of arson attack on the Capitol building, and they're being caught. So we are waiting for court decision. So that's a major discussion tonight. If you just join me, I'll let you know we'll be taking on the issues also in Liberia and also on the international scene. So, Paul, we also ask those who join us if you can share your thought with us. How do you look at it? And is this a justice or is it a political witch hunt? That's the question tonight. So I think we should have this make it more interactive. If people can join us for wherever they are, that'll be quite a good thing to do. So we're asking everybody to join us where they are. That then we want to work on everybody to be with us tonight.
Yeah, that's true. And that's a good thing. Can you share the show because your comment will display our telephone number too, so you can call in. Let's make it interactive. This is Friday. This is a weekend. Things are going nicely. And to our viewers for joining us, I want to say welcome to the Bottom discussion. And also, we want to say it is good to be in paradise because what am I saying paradise? When you die, you have no voice. So since we live here, we can communicate with each other. We live in paradise. People may not see it that way. That's why the Bible said God made man in his own image. So when you are living now, enjoy paradise because when you die, you don't know where you're going. So to our viewers, kindly share
So
the show. This will
don't
be
bring don't bring any argument. Don't bring any argument here now. So we'll say, was he a male or female? Another question will come to you.
oh, but that's my view. I think I'm in
I think
paradise.
leave
For
for a
those,
smile. Leave want to ask you whatever was he, is he a male or female? John, you want to bring a gender issue right now? He may so.
yeah, share the show, guys. Share the show. Leave for what say you. Are we not in paradise
Tonight,
because we
tonight,
die?
tonight.
We don't
I will not.
know.
I will not say anything because I know a lot
Why?
of people. A lot of
Why you
people
don't
will
want to say
think.
anything? No,
No, a
but
lot of people will think
Paul
that.
just said something like God made him in his own. I mean, he made us in his own image. So Paul is not telling whether the Almighty is a female or male.
Yeah, but
But
you see,
this is what the story told us. So
yeah,
that's the
and
story where
Then
people
the story is
believe.
not complete.
yeah, and
Absolutely. The
you
story is
see,
not
and
complete.
this is where we that are critical thinkers, when we're ready to question, then people will not understand. They say, "Oh, you
Yeah,
devil,
but
you."
you got a mind to speak, boy. You don't have to worry about anybody concerned. Just keep your mind.
Yeah,
This is what.
because
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, the Bible says, "Let us make man in our own image," and
Mm-hmm.
we are two genders. So is this person who said let us make man in our own image, both genders, or how? What is it? Now when you question, they kind of think people they say, oh,
what people? No. You don't believe in yourself, or you don't believe in what you believe in, or somebody got to lead you.
No, I believe
you can read a religious book now. I understand it from your own point, is it?
No, but you see, this is where the problem is. Because the book,
yes.
The thing is the story of the book. To me, it doesn't add up because they say God made man first. That's what the story tells us. But then in creation, it's woman who gave birth to men. To all. So were woman first or men first? They saw that story.
We are not students of religion. Another question that also comes to my mind is like, when Adam and Eve were there, right? They born. Who they born? Cain and Eva?
They didn't. There
was no. They were not female. So where the female came from?
Absolutely. This is the question. That's the question.
You see, so many questions are coming up. And
let's follow on to that. I think this kind of question.
Let me just put it one out.
Go on, Leaford.
Let me just put it one out. Let people be thinking about it.
Okay, go on.
Okay, let's go to from the creation, all these things. God was working in the night. Because you see, after he finished making the whole world, then he said, let there be light. So that means he was working in the night. So why did he need light in the first place? Okay, after that, then we continue to Adam and Eve. Then we continue to Noah. And they say Noah built this ark here, and the measurement is in the ark. It's not bigger than any four-room apartment. Okay, according to that measurement, I would know. Then they say he put all the animal back there. And then let's go in the water. Whale and shark, all these things, they don't live on earth. So did Noah have ocean in the ark? Elephant, why can eat something like that? You get 2 elephants in the ark. What about eating? And all the animals don't eat the same thing. Lion and eat other animals. So what about eating? 40 days will not eat the same one day. For 40 days and nights. So, all the questions when you ask it, then they say, oh, no, don't ask.
Yeah. Yes, that's good to our viewers. Kindly share the show. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, and then we can. So, Jamal, we got viewers here, with people following from YouTube, Facebook, all over the place. Talk to us what we have on the menu for our people who just joining us.
All right, if you just joining, we'll just let you know tonight. The bigger discussion on the table tonight is what's happening in the House. Former Speaker JFK, Jealous Fanatical Fire, is in the dock with 4 others. So we'll be looking at it. Is he eminent? Will he be inducted? Many other lawmakers. Are they violating the immunity as a lawmaker? We'll be looking at that. Whether he's going to go to jail and 4 others going to go to jail for good. We're going to look into that. And that's a main discussion. So we want you to join us, share what you think. Are they protected by the law? If not, is justice in play, or they've been politically haunted or witch hunt? So we want to look into now. We want you to join us, tell what you think. That's what the main thing. And Paul will be telling us much what's going on in the international scene. Paul is the guy on the international decks. You'll be telling us what it's like. And many other ones will be coming up. So join us, share the show. We'll take you through our commercial and come back. Please be with us. Stay tuned. A lot to be discussed.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number 1 vocal, Liberia number 1, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hans Vodka, Hans Honey, Hans Bitter, and Hans Original Vodka. Hans Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drank Mama happy. Hans Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hans Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000-979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy and my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We have started. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Yes, once again, welcome. Paul, Linford,
Yes.
guys, welcome, guys. Before we go through the topic tonight, let me ask Linford how Linford is coming to us live from the city of what's the city again? You are in Norway. Remind us the audience. So I know you are in Norway. Where are you in Norway, boss?
Well, I'm in the middle part of Norway, 3 hours away from the main city, Oslo. So I'm between the second city, the second largest city, Bergen, and Oslo. It's a small community. It's called Fagernes, which is a very popular tourist center. We have one of the biggest ski centers around here that people come from everywhere. In fact, the World Cup ski is held here. So I guess a lot of people know this place.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Our man from London, one of the oldest cities in the world. Paul will be joining us. Telling Paul, do you have something for us tonight on the international desk?
Yes, we'll be looking at, before I go into international, I want to say good evening to our audience, and thanks for being with us. Thanks for following us. Also want to kind of share the show. Something happened yesterday. We'll look at it, the plane crash in India.
One
And
survivor.
only one survivor, and over 200 people died. And this guy just walked away. He walked to the ambulance, and he's from Bolton, I think, from the UK.
Yeah, just close. That's far from Manchester.
Yes.
20 minutes drive from here from Manchester to Bolton. Yeah.
I mean, this guy gonna live long, man. But our house.
The question, Paul, that's quite interesting. I know you're going to talk about it. The question Paul Linford may ask. There's a question that comes over there. He was in the news for saying that he was sitting on seat number 11A. So the experts are asking, is this the safest seat in the plane? That's the question.
That's the
he
question.
was sitting on 11A, and he was sitting on 11A, and he survived. 2 minutes after the accident, the plane crashed. He walked away, and I think he was speaking to his dad on the phone when the plane was taking off. Immediately, 2 minutes later, the plane crashed. His brother called the dad, the plane has crashed. And he called, and you were calling from the hospital bed. So he was sitting on seat 11A. The question is that the safest seat in the plane? Paul will be telling you more what's happening. And I think you got image of the young man that survived, is it?
No, the thing is, I was trying to download the image of the young man, but we'll talk about it.
We'll get there, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. And this is interesting, look, guys. The team hit the hospital dormitory. And for this guy to survive, he's going to live forever, man. This is unbelievable.
It's a miracle.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
I'll say you, if you follow the...
Paul, you should be telling us, I don't know, Linford may tell us, because Linford much more informed of these things you were before some of us on the platform. Linford used to say, if you survive the plane crash, you don't pay for plane ticket anymore. You can travel all around the world. Is this still true? Or is something else?
No, I just hearing that one. What I know is if you are born in a plane or in a ship, you are citizen of the world.
What I understand, if you survive a plane crash, you can go around the world. You don't pay for plane ticket anymore. You're being given international.
I'll just be flying every day. Everywhere we are going. Because and trust me, what that guy went through, because I saw when the plane hit the ground, you can see the smoke. I mean, the flame. So how did this guy survive in that flame? So then it comes to the point. Okay, in fact, here's a picture. I don't know. Here, somebody just sent it to me. The plane flying, going. See? Yeah. For this plane to hit the ground, and this guy survived. So I don't know, because the flame. Everybody saw the flame, right? So it comes to my mind that they saying that there is time for everything. It's a time for everything, because some people can die. Paul, imagine the the men shower, eat breakfast, everything. That okay, my neighbor that just died 2 weeks ago. Today's the third week. And this is the fellow I saw around like 4:30 to 5 o'clock. Then around 7 o'clock, 7:30, we discovered him dead right on the porch outside his apartment, on the porch on the ground. I mean, even though he was sick, he was not well, but then somebody who was in a plane and this plane hit the ground. Hey, man, we all had, so now we've been walking, he told me to fall down. High can be very hard, fall down. They wait him a plane hitting the ground. So, this guy, the Paul said, not that he will live forever, but I mean, it's just something miraculous.
Yeah, it's true. So before we transition to Liberia, yesterday there was a United Nations Security Council. Security Council had a meeting yesterday. They needed to discuss the resolution of the people in Gaza and Israel. And overwhelmingly, there are a lot of people that voted that the war should stop in Gaza. But then, to our surprise this morning, Israel did the unthinkable thing to attack Tehran. Is this going to be another escalation in the Middle East? Because Iran is saying that they will hit Israel hard. So before we get into it, there was an interview carried on by a professor in Tehran by Sky News. And that interview is quite interesting. So I just want to play it's about 6-minute clip, and then we can dive into it and then move on to Liberia to talk about the issue in Liberia. So to our audience, share the show. This will be interesting, and we also want your input on this. Let's listen to this professor from Tehran.
Well, let's get more on this. I'm joined now by Professor Mohammed Marandi from Tehran University. Very good morning to you. Thanks so much for talking to us this morning. First of all, as I understand it, you're in Tehran. Can you tell us what you saw and heard overnight first?
Yes. In the middle of the night, we woke up to explosions, and we saw that in our neighborhood and other neighborhoods, the Israeli regime used missiles to bomb apartment buildings, and a large number of women and children have been killed. That's not something that you've been pointing out over the last 10 minutes of pro-Israeli propaganda. But without a doubt, people across the country are angered. This was unprovoked. It was an act of aggression. But of course, in the West, when they support a Holocaust in Gaza, obviously, when they support the genocidal strikes in Beirut, when they support daily murders in the West Bank, there's not going to be much sympathy for the women and children lying on the streets in Tehran. But the Iranian response will be devastating, and it will be something that the Israeli regime will regret. And hopefully Trump will be sane enough to stay out of it, because we all know that much of the world's oil and gas comes from the Persian Gulf region. And if the bases, U.S. bases, are in countries on the other side of the Persian Gulf, if the United States attacks Iran, those tiny Arab dictatorships will be complicit. And that would bring about a situation in the oil market that will create a collapse in the global economy, including where you are. So I think you should be praying that Trump is sane enough to stay out of this, but Iran will punish the Israeli regime.
Just to say on the civilian casualties, it's true that Iran state media is reporting civilian casualties. We've not had confirmation of that at present. In the meantime, Israel has said that it's struck nuclear targets.
Since you haven't confirmed it, anyone who's watching your program can go to my Twitter account and see an image of a child who was murdered and lying dead. I don't think when you want to speak on behalf of the Israelis, there's no need for all these confirmations, but when it's Palestinians or Iranians or Lebanese, everything has to be confirmed, and by the time they're confirmed, it's all over.
We'd just like to credit where the information comes from, that's all. But can I just go back to what Israel is saying about why it's carried out these attacks? They say they've struck nuclear targets, amongst other targets, to block Tehran from developing nuclear weapons. Benjamin Netanyahu has claimed that Iran has recently taken steps to weaponize enriched uranium and said that if not stopped, a nuclear weapon could be produced in a very short time. What's your reaction to that?
I think you know this as well as I, that Netanyahu has been saying Iran is on the verge of making nuclear weapons for over 30 years. For 30 years. It's very well documented. And I think many of your viewers know that. He is a genocidal liar. And what else do you expect from an ethno-supremacist like him and his colleagues? The Iranians are a member of the NPT, and the International Atomic Energy Agency, as we speak, has people in Iran who monitor Iran's program. The very same site that he bombed has IAEA inspectors in it regularly. So obviously he's lying. There's no evidence that Iran in the past was producing a nuclear weapon, but the Israeli regime does have nuclear weapons. And the Israeli regime has carried out aggression against Iran, and it has murdered senior officials, and it has murdered many civilians. The images that you see don't need confirmation, do they? You can see that's a taxi, right? Those are civilians. Again, you may need a few weeks to get confirmation for all this, just like in Gaza when they were bombing hospitals. Your Sky News was trying to say that the Palestinians mistakenly bombed their own hospitals. That's how it works in the West. The narrative is pro-Israeli, but I think the world knows what's happening. This was an unprovoked attack. Your journalists in Palestine, in occupied Palestine, can gloat all he wants, but the Iranians will respond. Iran will respond and punish the Israeli regime, because now the only way forward is to teach Netanyahu a lesson and to make sure that the Israeli regime regrets attacking.
Right. So this professor have said it all. There was an attack last night, by Israel on Tehran. And before that, there was the Atomic Energy Group had a meeting, and the voters said, look, they needed Iran to open up for more inspection. But Israel now jumped the gun, decided to launch. So, gentlemen, is the Middle East going to be inflamed like what's happening in Europe? What say you?
Yeah, guys, listen. This is, we keep saying about this hypocrisy in the world. You have 9 countries around the world that all have nuclear weapons. Russia, I'll name them. I can tell you exactly who they are. You got United States, Russia, France, China, United Kingdom, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. Who makes Israel a world police to stop someone from developing nuclear weapons? 9 countries around the world that carry nuclear warheads. I'm just naming the United States, one of them. UK, we said in today, is one of them. India as well. Are they not dangerous to the outside world? Because the last time, Pakistan and India was at loggerhead.
Yeah.
And both of them those 2 countries have nuclear warheads. So what is the reason behind attacking Tehran, or the capital city of Iran, or developing? Who is Israel the war police? Or Israel is Israel that doing the dirty job or the dirty work for America? So that is not the idea. I mean, let me go to the real issue, Paul. You know, this guy said, the professor said they're going to retaliate and it's going to be ugly. I'm telling you, you're going to be ugly, and you're going to spread all over in the Middle East. And you're going to touch the interests of those, I keep saying that, those puppet regimes in the Middle East that are supporting the West. And once Iran fights back, it's not going to stop. Iran is not going to stop. So that's the fear we have. And there's going to be a complete nuclear warhead fight around. So if Trump knows what I know, he should move in fast and stop this thing going on, because it's going to spread like we overlooked what was going to happen in Ukraine. Most of us, like, they call it doubting Thomas, sit there, say, oh no, yeah, Russia will not attack Ukraine. Oh, they're just joking. Before you look, they were running off that place. They run into Ukraine. Now we're dealing with it now for another 3 years going on. And we are overlooking what's happening right now in the Middle East. We're at the point of a complete nuclear warfare fight. And it's not just because it's going to be in the Middle East. You know what happened? It spread all over to Europe. And Europe is just next door. The Middle East is just next door to Europe. So we also potential victim out of from the nuclear something spread. It could affect or in any kind of way. It has you have a ripple effect. So it will affect our food supply security, our life, health, in any capacity. So this is something I don't understand. You don't understand. I know we all know that it's hypocrisy in the words. What in the hell? What on this earth Israel want to go stop Iran from producing nuclear weapons when they themselves are possession of nuclear weapons?
And they're also not part of the people that got nuclear weapon.
They are part of the other 9 countries. They're one of them. North Korea, China.
Israel is not part. There's an organization, they call them the Atomic something, that Israel is not member. But how did they acquire
the reason the professor is saying, if that's the reason they are just doing the job to stop them producing a nuclear weapon, I mean, this is unprovoked. I'll leave my colleague to speak on it. It's unprovoked, and the consequence, I'm afraid, going to be very, very dangerous for us.
So before Linford come in, you remember we had a program here, I think last week, and we talked about this issue, and Pat Dolly was on the program, and he said, the world population have grown. So at some point, there'll be a lot of people have to die before this thing stop. There were a few months ago, Russia and Iran signed an agreement that if you attack me, we'll come to your defense. Are we forgetting this? Because when you talk about these are big powers playing out now, Israel have attacked Iran. What happened now? Will Russia be giving their Erushnik to those people to defend themselves? This is where we're heading, and this will spread up big time, bigly, according to Donald Trump. Linford, what say?
Well, I don't know where we're heading to, but the other day I said something here. I said there has to be a third real world war, not a European type of world war. Real world war will come. And we are approaching it very, very gradually. You see, and Dima asked a question: who is Israel to want to tell somebody not to develop nuclear weapon? Okay, if Israel, you don't want to see nuclear weapon, go to North Korea. Go stop Kim Jong-un. Okay, go to China, go stop them. Go to Liberia, in fact, France, right here. Can't go stop them. But like Jima said, it's a hypocrisy. And let me tell you, the same way Ukraine is being used as a pawn in this big game, in this big chess game, Israel has allowed Israel to be used all the time against the Arab world. How many times has the West now attacked countries in the Arab world? So this time now they say, okay, no, we went to Iraq, and everybody know our footprints are still in Iraq. We've been all over the place, even the very Iran, all over the place. They've been there, Afghanistan, all over the place. So they say, well, Israel, you don't care. Like, you know, one can attack, you know how to attack them. So go and do the territory we here. But I will tell you, like the professor said, Israel might just regret, because it will come a time that the big brother that you got that sent you to go fight somebody who is bigger than you or who is almost stronger than you, and you depending on that big brother. When that big brother backs off, you will remain in a heat. Now, let's look at Ukraine, right? Everybody thought with the backing of NATO, Ukraine would like get war Russia in a few days' time. And what's happening? The war has been going on for almost 3 to 4 years. And then Israel going to attack Iran. Now, Iran too has friends. No, Everybody has friends. So if every time I get parable, people can laugh. But if you got hunchback people in the time and one of them die, and this guy, he can fit in the casket, got to break a boom, some kind of way for him to fit. The other hunchback people start to think, start to cry. If we die, is this the way to do us? So if you can start attacking Iran, the other countries will say, well, we're getting ready too. And like one of you said, the ripple effect will come down. And if anybody would depend on Trump, any country would depend on Trump, Donald Trump or America, and say America will come to my aid. Let me tell you, America has its own problem right now. America is struggling, okay, socially, financially, and economically. I'm telling you, here is Donald Trump who ordered an army general to put military people in the street in California, and this military man said, no, I will never, and I will not. And if Donald Trump face me, I will face him. So can you imagine? So Donald Trump will not just go and tell, even though he got a key to the nuclear, but he will not just go and say, okay, you can't go start fighting, and people start fighting. When he gets command, there are people on the ground that will take command. You get command, nobody gets on. What you do? You're not taking the weapon and go use it yourself. So I think Israel is not a member of the International Atomic Agency. I think the IAEA. Okay, and
they're not member.
Yeah, the group had a meeting recently. So what business do Israel got to go attack Iran to say do not develop? Who are you? Okay, and you start striking. So they told us, okay, we don't have nuclear weapon, right? But we'll strike you too. And guess what? It will start spreading. And Israel is struggling also with Palestine right there. So by the time Iran start hitting there, Palestine can start hitting there at the same time. Okay, Syria then come, the Arab world, and you know, I hate to say this. I don't want to say, but I'll say it. I don't know what the hell is wrong with the Arab world. That you'll sit down and people, they're killing your people right in front of you. All of you can conglomerate on Israel one day. What's wrong with these people?
So Balifa, the professor said it, that all of those small dictators that have American bases to protect them, when they start going after them, economically, the whole world will suffer.
Of course.
When they start attacking. So these people should look at it on our side. But then, if nuclear powers are back, because there's a relationship between Tehran and Beijing. There is a relationship between Tehran and Moscow. So when all of these big hands, and also North Korea is on the other side, there is a link between them. So all of these
that's where my parable about the hunchback man comes in, because the whole thing here that Israel is attacking Iran for is about what, nuclear weapon, right? So if you start attacking one country for nuclear weapon, the other country that got it, they will say, oh yeah, after this one they're coming for me, so let me sharpen my own too. So let's wait and see.
Let me ask something, guys. You know, I can tell you here in this on this platform that it's a myth that the people think that Asia is a might. Asia cannot be conquered. You know, Israel started fighting almost 2 years now. A group of ragtags army in Gaza. They can't finish them. You can't even get the hostages out of them. What much the people in Gaza have? They don't have anything. They only have this bunch of to fight back, military hardware. They don't even have tanks. What they have is just sending rockets and do low arms and ammunition. That's what they have. And up to today, Israel has bombarded them up on the ground or in air. You can't get the hostages out of them. So why you start a war you can't finish? People used to believe it says, look, with the record of Israel being the power, the might in the Middle East, military might, you cannot conquer people in Gaza to get your hostages. How much to start a war with Iran? No, this is the thing. They're starting a war they can't finish. They can't even handle.
Yeah, because they depend on somebody bigger.
No, but there's somebody misleading them. You cannot start a war. The Israel cannot finish Gaza. They said we'll level Gaza down. We'll get our hostages. How long has this been going on? They're killing those guys every day, but they can't even get a hostage until they release. Or you go find a hostage who's there somewhere, they let it go. All the hunchback people will start getting ready. They control the people in Gaza, their food, They secured everything. But now up to the person, they can't even gather hostages, except that people in Gaza say the Palestinians say will release to them. So you can't even handle you're fighting your own house. You want to start a war that you can't finish. You know, it's the thing about people, it's about the political survival of Benjamin Netanyahu. The people in Israel don't want him, and he wants to stay on because out of that job, he's going to go for trial. So looking for a war to continue somewhere else. So either you attack Lebanon or you attack Iran. So the issue in Gaza is going down, is slowing down. So there's no need to attack Gaza anymore. So because you're killing them, you can't get anything out of them. And they all say in the next 24 hours, in the next 30 days, we'll get the hostages, we'll free our people, we'll level Gaza. Where is Gaza? Look at what they have. You can't even finish them. Then you're telling me, you used to tell us, I don't know where they're saying coming from. Israel is a country, the whole world can come to Israel. You can't even finish people, a group of guys with almost a kind of Rakta army. You can't finish them. Then you want to fight a nation like Iran that have military warhead. I mean, come on, nuclear warhead.
Jamal, you're right. You know, before we move to Liberia, do you know that the so-called superpower of the war, America, they cannot fight a conventional war? They did that in the 60s. What happened with Vietnam? Since Vietnam beat them, they can only throw bomb. They cannot fight. When it happened, when they got rid of Saddam Hussein, the so-called NATO allies like John, they started doing friendly fire among those that were on the ground. They cannot fight conventional war. And think on this carefully. They only depend on dropping something.
Yeah.
But they cannot fight conventional war.
They did that with Gaza. They have not succeeded. They did that with Gaza in the air, on the ground. They have not succeeded. They have invaded on the ground. They have bombed from the air.
Yeah.
Every day for 30 days, they were bombarding that area non-stop. The guys, they didn't do anything. Let's look at something.
This imaginary Israel that people think about, that are God's people. Okay? God said,
God got tired sometimes with nonsense. You know what I mean?
Imaginary Israel. Oh, that God people, they can eat. They can get hungry. So God just will say, okay, you can die. Then why when they shoot one, you can die? That's what.
I mean, where that saying coming from? Man? I mean, I don't want to condemn something that God is God people.
It's the European thing that came up with it nonsense.
It's not the power.
So let's see. There's the whole nonsense about the Bible. Some of us carry this name that I decided to change this Paul name that my parents gave me. Do you know Jesus was a disciple? What's Jesus' name? He's a Hebrew. He got a Hebrew name. But then in the end, all Jesus Christ's disciples carry John, Paul. They are all English names. Where that name come from? Think on this.
All right. We'll do the religious argument another time. Let's go to the issue.
I know that John Harry. No last name.
So anyway,
let's the issue. But that's the fact. Two things I want to say before we transition to Liberia is like the people in Europe should sit and think, well, it's not our issue. I mean, I was just saying that Israel's at the doorstep of Europe. And they've at the doorstep of Europe, and you think whatever happened in the Middle East will not hit us. Of course, we will feel the pain. We will definitely feel it. So they just sit for arms for their thinking like, okay, what's going to happen in the Middle East? And it is problem. It's not that problem. You know what's going to happen? The refugees, the influx of refugees. And they saw it with other countries. It's going to happen. Food, security, because they think, you know what the European think? When something happened in Syria, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Libya, they were closing their doors to the people from the Middle East because they think that they were a bunch of terrorists coming to their countries. And now, if they want to stop from terrorists, so-called terrorists coming as they claim them, they should stop the war now. What's going to happen? People are not going. Those guys are going to attack Iran. The whole of the Middle East is going to be in fire. And if that starts, those guys are not going to Saudi Arabia. They're not going to Bahrain. They're not going to Kuwait. They're not going to Qatar. They're not going to Emirates or United Arab Emirates. You're coming to Europe. If you think that your door, you want to close your door, they're coming to you. So it should be open. Listen to me good. You should stop this war. These guys are coming. The influence. They can find a way to get here. How far from Morocco to get to Morocco to get to Spain? It's just easy. From Libya, Algeria, coming down to Libya, you can just cross the border to Spain. It can easy from Libya to Spain. There's another entry into Europe. And now you're going down to Greece, coming Cyprus all the way. There's another, no, they're easy way to come to Europe. So Europeans should not only that, that's another influx of people coming. You have to receive them. I don't care what happens because you sit there arms for it. You want to stop the war.
But Jema, what say you on this one here? There's a war already going on in Europe. If another one break out in the Middle East, the Russians already taking territory in Ukraine.
Yeah,
it's not forgotten about. Then the same NATO group will go back Israel. So they will get Russia the upper hand to wipe out Ukraine while they focusing. You see,
what? No, my point I want to make it. I think Lieberman will stress on that as well. Is that the people the first thing will raise issues like, well, the guarding bunch of terrorists coming to our country because of the war. Why they can't go to Saudi Arabia? They got what they can to other Arab countries. And that's the question. For the Ukrainians, they open the doors. Every home receive Ukrainian. They won't do it to the people from Middle East. They won't do it to them. They will call them. They want to put them a cage in the place, put them in the camp. They don't want to get together and mingle. And they can't stop. They're coming out of war. War that Asia will start. Iran will not sit, and be killed. They will fight back. Iran will fight back. I don't care what you do. They'll fight back. And I can tell you, Asia can't make it with Iran. That's not a joke. They got the manpower. They got the power. I don't care how you call in Asia the might of Middle East. It's not possible. You can't finish people in Gaza. Can you fight Iran? I mean, it's clear. So Linford can tell me. I mean, I know we discussed this, but this is something that we all sitting here in Europe.
Yeah,
think like,
just to close up on it. Like I said before, this imaginary might that Israel supposed a group or Israel supposed to have. I think the people should forget about it and make sure that they can stop this thing. The IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, should step in now because they just had a meeting. Let them advise Israel, but again, it's beyond control now because Israel finished attacking already, and Iran is saying that we're coming back, we'll attack too. We don't know when. Maybe as we speak, they might be attacking tonight. And one thing I know Iran will do. Iran will not rush on them because I just read something from that clip that Paul played. I saw on the sidebar, I saw where the Israeli defense minister was warning Israelis about rockets coming, they should get prepared. Iran will not rush on them. It will take time because Iran doesn't want to make mistakes. They want to be precise. And when they inflict any damage, it will take them a long time to regroup and come. So Iran will not say, okay, because your throw bombs yesterday will coming through our own today. No, they will relax. They will play well. That probably they will encompass them and throw bombs from every angle that there will be no escape. And so, but let's wait and see if.
Another addition to what you're saying. Iran was engaged, I think, 8 years or how many years war with Iraq. Iran has fought for years. Israel has not fought any nation of that type. The only victim they have, Palestine nation, they will just because they control them, their food, the security, they can go there anytime and pick on them. They have not engaged any country like do conventional war with country, proper country. And Iran has done that for years. Then they're prepared. They know the might, they know the way, they know all the strategies to fight a nation. So Iraq-Iran war, we all know what was the result. We know what happened. So they are starting something that we can't handle. And if America and the US, the European, the allies sit and think, well, it's their problem. They're making a serious mistake. That needs to be handled because Iran will fight back. Definitely will fight back. And the result going to be disastrous. It's going to be disastrous. And we just mark us today. We're saying on this platform, people think we're not serious. We follow every event. We know what the Iranians are capable of. They don't fear nothing. They fear nothing. They can fight back at any time. And they said it. The professor said they will fight back, and you will see the mark. It will be serious.
Yeah, imagine the professor is no military authority, but he knows exactly what. And it's been like Iran have been threatening many years, from many years by Israel. So Iran has been prepared. They know that this day was coming, but how. They didn't know, but now that they know the time it happened, they too will get ready. And trust me, I'm telling you, Iran may attack Israel, but it's not going to be today. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be this weekend. It will take time because they will properly plan. Why Israel think, I think Israel should just continue the attack, or else if Iran comes, and Iran will not only attack from the air with bomb, I'm sure they will put boots on the ground in Israel. Trust me, it will happen.
While we're waiting for Paul to come, our colleague Francis dropped this point. It's crazy. Saudi Arabia is playing a double standard game here. Of course, it's not even double standard, Francis. They are playing the game to protect their leadership because the people in Saudi Arabia, they are just being surrounded by a bunch of people and there are radical groups behind Saudi. As long as you get it in change, it's not being protected by American security, they will overthrow them. That's the facts. Saudi and other Arab countries are always succumb. They are submissive to America and Israel. But the fact that because they want to protect the leadership. So the radicals, there are too many radicals within Saudi and the Middle East. And this war will give them the chance to overthrow that leadership. And that's what's going to happen. So if they don't get to that leadership trying to protect, where does Trump goes when he comes to power? Firstly, he want to go for big deals in Saudi because they have the money. They were able to buy arms. They can't even use them. They don't have the population to use the guns they buy. They don't have. If you go to Saudi Arabia, if you're not Indians, if Somalis, other people like that, so now different nationalities in Saudi and other Arab countries, there are not many. So they have the money, but they don't have the capacity. They don't have even the capacity to handle the weapons. They will still need to recruit people. So definitely what they are starting right now is a war they can't finish. So please, they shouldn't start. Europe, America should stop this war. We don't want to see another disaster for a couple of years to come back because we're going to live with this scar for a very, very long time. Very long time. Anyway, Paul is in the background. So what we're going to do, we're going to see any comment. I think our man Bitaki is turning around because he's the guy on the international. You want to pop in to make your comment on this before we go through it. If it's now, we're going to take through. Thanks for your input, Mr. Mensah. That was good. We know very well Saudi has been playing the
Paul wants you to let him in.
Oh, Paul is struggling. Okay. Paul, you in?
So like you were saying, Paul, welcome. I know, Paul, you want to consult your oracle, eh?
Yeah, that's
yeah, but guys, on a serious note, Chima, you selling? Oh no, we're sitting on a time bomb. People, I do know whether Israel got any other loophole. No, like the country people say the operation can depend on the escape hole before it calls doorman. When you start crossing the door coming for you. So you must depend on your escape hole. So the America is depending on America, like I said, they're having their own crisis. Seriously, that thing that happening in America is a national issue that they can even deploy National Guard. Okay, then Congress is also not willing to just lose money like that on stupid war. You get on one night, go attack Iran. What Iran did to you? You're not war police. You say they will not have weapon. So who are you? And then you got NATO, someone agree you got NATO that you're pumping money in to go fight in Ukraine to fight Russia. And so all these things, it will spread, the ripple of effect will spread all over the place. And the country can say, okay, yeah, I think this is our chance now to get even with somebody. Okay. So you remember when Syria, when Bashar was there, one morning Donald Trump got out, I know that American troops they got out, they start bombing the place. One early morning, the Syrian may not forget that thing. One day they will say, okay, since America is backing Israel, we're going to pay our debt. You know, so this year, every country in the world got something against another country. Somebody got something against somebody. And the same way you friend with other people, you are also enemies to other people. So you gotta be very careful what you do, or else one morning we'll wake up, man, and the sound that we hear will not be good. So I hope those that got the power, those that can make this thing to stop. And okay, let's look at it this way. You are the ones, you Europeans, Americans, you are the one who are developed. Some of the countries are not developed. They got anything to lose. You the one got things to lose. So if you live in a glass house and you begin to throw stones, the man who lives in a zinc shack doesn't really care much. The only thing he'll keep protecting is his life to be able to fight by.
Well, so Linford and Jamal, if you guys can hear me, maybe the suffering of the people in the Gaza, maybe this is the way that it's going to end.
Seriously,
they have suffered so much. I think it's about time now that someone take on Israel. Maybe when they start going after them, because today they know Tehran will respond. They all go in the bunkers, but the people just they wait until they come out.
Yeah, no way, dude. No, let them forget more.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. Thank you very much, guys. We want to take a quick break and come back. Don't forget, we're going to go into Liberia right now and tell you what's happening. The former speaker, Fonati Kofa, and 4 others were arrested, I think, over the weekend. Now, what's the story behind them? And many talk shows been talking about it, and we want to look at it from different angle. But now, before we come back, we'll tell you, is it justice or political witch hunt? We'll take a break and come back. Please join us and share this show. Are you in control?
No, I'm not in control. You in studio.
All right, okay then. Then we'll take a quick break. We'll bring another Liberian music in. From there, we'll come back and tell you what the story look like. Let me see what guy for Liberia right now. We want to promote our own Liberian music for a little bit, or bring our own. We want to once again go a commercial.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not know. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we vote tell you. But you screw us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us.
Once again, I want to welcome you to the Borderland Liberia, live from the mainland of Europe. We got a brother from Norway. That's Linford Egon Greg, got Paul the George will play from London. Myself, I'm coming to you live from the city of Manchester. I want to just transition to Liberia. I want to tell you what's happening now. Thanks for joining us. We want to say those who join us, wherever you join us from, thank you for joining us. Share the show. Be part of the Borderland. We are here every Tuesdays and Fridays. And sometimes we pop up when there's something happening, serious happening, we'll always come up. But don't forget, always here at 8 o'clock, that's 8 o'clock UK time, 9 o'clock Central Europe, and 7 o'clock LIB, that's Liberian time. But tonight, we'll be telling you what's happening. The topic for tonight is justice, politics, accountability. Former Speaker Kofa and others. Capital arson case. Where do we draw the line? Due process versus public pressure. Now, in high-profile cases like such a politician, the question is, are we witnessing justice or a political witch hunt? So we want to discuss tonight. So if you have some thought on this, let's have you. Gentlemen, I know many talk shows, radio stations across Liberia, also in the diaspora, have been talking about this case. I know we have to discuss it. I know we have to talk about it. And we talk about high-profile Liberian politicians, like lawmakers. I mean, I'll put something up right now that you will see what we're talking about. I think it's been, we're going to talk about newspaper headlines about this case in Liberia. It's scary. And there are lawmakers. They are in the dock for their life. They could be indicted or be free. The question is, Linford, will start with you. What do you think? Are their immunity being abused, or are they facing the full weight of the law?
Well, You mentioned one keyword, immunities. I have yet to know to what extent are lawmakers, both in the lower and upper houses, protected under the law outside of the domain of uh, their premises. Like, if they are on the premises of the Temple of Justice, or Capitol building, I don't know how much protection do they have outside, or immunities. But in this case, if we look at it, I want to believe this is a political case. And the fact that the people involved are all politicians, and not just ordinary politicians, but influential politicians. I mean, you're talking about Funati Kofa, who was former um, House Speaker and also presently stay in the opposition, and one of the strongest opposition, or the strong opposition in the country, representing his people. So and they have been in a case with the ruling government, with people from the ruling government, the ruling party. So you see that it's like they try to set the government tries to set precedent. Say, look, listen, if anybody challenges us while we are in office for the next 6 years, if anybody challenges us, we'll clamp down on you. And the only way we can make people to respect us is for us to set example. I've been following the internet. I listen to the supporters of this government. The government will not take nonsense. We ask the president to jail people, do this. And so this is something that is coming from within. So nobody can divorce this case from politics. So the politics in this case is heavy, it's entrenched, and that from the very day the case was prejudiced, the president came and said it was hooligans that burned the Capitol building. It was an arson. So the case must be pursued by his government. And he is, imagine if Boubacar was not the president. Okay, you think this case was going to go anywhere? No. But he is the president. And it is his regime that the people challenged, when it comes to the speakership. So they want to do everything possible to set a strong example that if anybody henceforth moving forward, we want to challenge them, this is what you should expect. I mean, we saw how it played out when they call the people for hearing. I mean, police called them for hearing, and all of a sudden they were arraigned and taken up to prison. They spent night there, and all these things. But again, we want to wait to see the outcome, because the case is in the court, and it is a court, and by I think by right they were supposed to give the verdict today. So I haven't heard anything. So whatever was postponed again, I don't know. And if it was postponed, then the same politics stay playing. Keep them, let them submit, force them to be there. As you know, they got some people who are connected to this case who have been in jail for almost 2-3 months now, okay, or who have been in detention for 2-3 months almost. So it's highly political.
Yeah, before you go to Linfa, go to Paul. I think I want you to answer the questions. I want to put this question on this newspaper headline. I want to turn it into a question. Kofa and others indictment eminent. They are saying eminent, but I'm putting a question. Then Paul answer it. Do you think, like you just said, it's a political case? It turned into political something. It's a political fight against a political vendetta against the speaker, the former speaker, and 4 others or 3 others. So, do you think there's an eminent indictment here?
Of course, it's going to be It's going to be happening in the next few days, if not hours. They will be indicted, because if they let them go, if the government lets them go off the hook, they're going to come back because they are being incarcerated. They will come back and try to sue them for defamation of character and violation of their rights by putting them in jail. So it will not just be easy to let them go. And even as we have been hearing or reading from other sources, that the only evidence that the prosecution got against these people is from social media. Okay, and we all know that anybody can sit and write anything and say anything and do anything on social media. So the government will have to make a case, and like I said, we wait to see the next few hours or few days to come.
Paul, you think I think you'd be one of those persons that says that the government just want to hunt them down. That's where you've been argument all along. So you think the newspaper is right that the Kofa and others will be definitely indicted and they just want to send them down politically? Do you still think this way? The government really after to get rid of them politically?
Jamal and Linford, the thing is, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. From day one, that the government supported the so-called majority group, they did business with them. If you look at all of the events that took place, that you have, or how they call it, imported speaker that were backed by the state, the same imported speaker at the time, all of police officers to break into Yeke Koluba car, nothing came from all of that. The same majority bloc broke the speaker office during unification day, nothing came from all of it. So all of these trends, if you follow it, it just tells you. Now, when the place got burned, before it got burned, the speaker chair and the deputy speaker chair were moved from the chamber. Who took it out? These are questions. There were issues there. The police were there. The Capitol building also have 24/7 security. Where were these people when people went into the place to put fire in the building? The president also, on the day when the flame was still on, he got there, said, this is hooligan, and we deal with this hooligan, and it's an arson attack. How did the president know there was no investigation carried out for it to be an arson attack on the building? What were the forensic evidence that is there that people use to use, whether that kerosene or that gasoline or what kind of thing they use? It have not been shown. They were in court. It's the evidence is based on open source. They have not produced any graphic evidence. So because it's a political case, so the judge today decided that the case should go to criminal court A, criminal A, So that tells you this is pure political. The intent is there. And I will take you back to the CPP days. It was a very united party. You remember the story? That went to prosecute their own opposition leader because they didn't want him to have relevance in the political landscape. It's the same united party now that is in government. So they're showing that. So this is a complete political witch hunt. And I will take you back to 1983 or 1984. When Doe wanted to get rid of politicians, where he used some guy called Lanzamiton, who old enough can remember that story. The Capitol building was deliberately burned by the people using the same Lanzamiton method. And guess what? Joseph Nima Bweka was in that Doe government. So there is no coincidence here. These guys, they want to teach their lesson, but how do they get around it? We don't know. But the issue here is there are 5 people, 5 lawmakers. But one of the lawmakers from United Party have been given the leeway here. You hardly hear much about her. You see? Priscilla Copper.
Okay. But
so that tells you something. It's a witch hunt, in my opinion.
Paul, what do you see the end game here? And I'll tell you, Linford also answer that. What's the end game? Do you see these guys being indicted and they're being stripped of all their political right and they will be impeached, or they'll ask their constituencies to write a letter of, to cover the no trust or impeachment to get them off their jobs? What do you see as the end game for these people that are being, you think they will be indicted? What are you going to end game for them? Is it the end of the political career?
That's the intent. If it's about payback. You remember there's a guy who ran on United Party TK. He won his seat, but the CDC said he was criminal and he denied his seat in Lofa County. So these guys, the two parties are playing
Yeah,
cat and mouse.
Granny Samuka, right?
Granny Samika. So if you look at the 4 individuals from CDC, but there's one woman from United Party, her issue is kind of sidelined in a way. So those 4 are the 4 they're going for to take their seat, and that's the intent. So if these guys, what they need to do, they will have to do what Arizona Cummings did by bringing international forensic people to dismiss this nonsense case. If not, this thing going to drag on from the next, because there are so many of them. Remember, 4 other persons in jail already, plus add 5 to this, so that 9. And this thing will drag on until we get into campaign time. So the intent is they will get rid of these guys to make their seat vacant, because they want to teach CDC a lesson. That's how I see it, the way forward. But those guys need to stand their ground and take serious action against the government.
But Linford, the IG, the Inspector General, Gregory Isaac, is saying that they have satellite images. They have substantial evidence to prove that these guys were involved. I mean, they beyond all reasonable doubt that they are presented to other political politicians and the court that these guys can be indicted because their hands are all in this. They were involved in it. How much equipped is Liberia to get satellite evidence of this stuff, and how much do you know that? Why it's not? I mean, it's a little bit different. I mean, the noise is like some seems to is divided in the political camp. Person saying they are showing some opposition party that supporting these guys, that they have shown evidence that prove that these guys were involved. So they are telling them, instead of you political vision, they're calling that you should follow the due process of law. I've heard that over and over. So do you think is this a justice? Let's get it right, because you don't have the evidence here. We don't have the evidence here. Do you think what court decision will be? What do you give me a prediction here?
You know, when you mentioned Gregory Como talking about
satellite
image, I don't know Gregory. I haven't met him before. I don't know where he came from. But I think he's just joking, man. The guy probably he knows that, because he already said the case is a political case, so he's just joking. But I mean, satellite image, you got people committing crime right in the scene government. You can't even catch them. Then you talk about satellite image. Liberia is the only country where I see car may accident, all the victims they carry to hospital, but no attention, no hospital bill. I mean beds, no quick attention. But the only country where when people go to protest, then the police will rush on the scene. You know, it's the opposite, where the police is so prepared to take action, but the hospitals are dormant. Can you imagine? So I wish that one day somebody the police people may be accident. Then they get into the hospital. The same people can be beating the street. You go lay down there. You know, this thing is hard to say, but then it's good to say sometimes. Me and that Christian, so and I care. And I Christian, everybody can say the man. So if the police people, if they get accident, they come to that hospital. You're not getting bed. Let them go and arrest the accident. You go catch the accident and beat it. See, Gregory Coleman must be high on something to say that. But again, he knows what he's depending on. No, let me tell you. Go back to the same case that where Paul was making reference to with Mr. Cummings and the Unity Party people. When the other my friends, Serena Cephas, when Cephas was Solicitor General, and Waka then went and convinced him and took him and said, okay, you are our solicitor. What he said, and he said, oh, the case is over. The case is over already. We're going to send Cummings to go teach somewhere, this and that. It's just a matter of time. Okay. Now, so if Gregory Cummings say now, okay, we got satellite image, let's wait. Let's see whether they'll present the satellite image. But you ask a very good question. What is the end game? I think the end game, like Paul said, is to try to, demoralize these guys politically and probably try to strip them of their powers. But the question is, and then it goes back to the same thing I said before. I don't know how much immunity they have. I don't know what the law says about them. Whether through this kind of case, they can just be stripped of their representative post and say, okay, you're not represented anymore, the government can do that, or is it that the citizens who they are representing will do that? So I still don't know that part of it yet.
That's a question we need to know, whether if you're criminally indicted as a lawmaker, and if you carry the right to go back and represent your people. That's another thing. I think we want to ask to expert on these on the constitution, on the legislation.
But Jema, I think they had seen nothing before in the past. Somebody was accused of murdering someone in Liberia as a lawmaker. They went to prison. They came out of prison, won their case. They were acquitted, and they still represented their people.
No, but definitely, if they consider they are found guilty, that's the question.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so if these people are found guilty, you cannot take them out. So they entitled to everything until they found guilty and sent to prison.
Okay, if they're sent to prison, that's the question. What happened next with their positions in the seats?
That's where they now declare.
But the one that made it one more complex, the one that makes it one more complex is that these guys are fighting with the ruling party. You see, so I posted something 3 or 4 days ago or 5 days ago. I said, I posted the mosquito picture, right? Where they got something, one funny drawing. The guy was aiming rubber gun at the mosquito. He tied the mosquito already on the stage. Say, you mosquito, confess. Are you the one sucking me? And the mosquito say, no, I only suck you I only something when my girlfriend suck your blood. So I said, if you are the accuser, you are the prosecutor, you are the lawyer, you are everything. So your victim or your accused, the person you have accused, will be able to give false confession, just probably to get safe or for you to win the case. Because the government here is the accuser. The government got all the judges. The government will do the prosecution. So can you imagine these guys? They cannot make it. They cannot. There's no way that already they get to the police call them for investigation. They even find out guilty, nothing. They went to jail then. You see it. So what is the fair trial they're going to get? You see it. And today they were supposed to get Friday. Now the court is saying they should go to criminal court A.
The case to criminal court A.
So from there now maybe the next thing they will say, okay, you'll go further. So I don't see any fair judgment right here.
Yeah, but they're okay. I want to go, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. You still want to know.
Jamal, before you say something, you did mention about all of these satellite images that Gregory Coleman said they have. Now, in a preliminary investigation, they needed to put some things forward to the judge. But something that's substantial that the judge will say, okay, now we got a case before we send it to the other court. But their whole argument was based on, they call it internet open source. That's where they have. So there's nothing substantial. That's what the defense lawyer is saying, but they don't have anything. They should dismiss this case. But because it's political witch hunt case, the judge who also sitting there, controlled by the executive, he said, now I say anything. It's like the guy who wanted to kill Jesus Christ, say, I wash my hand. I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah, punch your party.
Yes. This is so criminal A now will handle it. But there's no substantial evidence so far. So maybe criminal A then will see all the graphic images that they get this satellite thing. But if the police have that, then what become the story of Gloria Mususka? When they told us that Valley Telly and Jefferson Kochi were involved and they get all of the images, why now the police cannot reopen that case for that girl to have justice? Because we know this is a political witch hunt, they can come up with all kind of things. And I'll take you back. CPP did, Mr. Cummington got a document, they have all the evidence. When the time came, they could not prove one. This is Liberia. So I just want so you can proceed.
No, now they say that Yeke Kolba made one interview where he said he listened to some telephone conversation and blah blah blah. No, let me tell you one thing. We have seen these things play in the past, and they will continue to play. We saw the worst of it during the wartime, where somebody would just come and tell the warring faction leader, say, "Oh, the man want to overthrow you." Poor man. Oh, they may planning this and that. So this thing is in Liberian politics. And since we're not fighting war anymore, where when they tell the warring faction leaders say, oh, the general want overthrow you, that general will be co-martial and maybe die. This time it's in the court, but the executive can arm trace the court or dictate to the court and say, no, this is what we want. And for a police director to come and say the case is a political case, so what more are we waiting for? It's like what Barker said from the beginning, that it was an arson and the hooligan was involved. So they just got to find the hooligans by all means, or else we made the president a liar.
Yeah.
And Jamal,
yes.
You know, in Liberia, the police are not independent. Like other countries, the police are independent, right? So it's a partisan police in Liberia. So what happened if it was an independent police the day the president made that statement? I'm telling you, independent police will walk to the president and say, we here for questioning. Where did you get the information from? Because the file will have not carried investigation. But because we don't have independent police situation, they depend on what the government say at the day. That's what the police follow. So they concocted all kind of story. And this story does not make sense. The Yaka Koluba is a...
Paul is gone. Right, we just lost Paul. Before Paul comes back, Linford, do you hear me loud and clear?
Sure.
Okay. You see the analyst newspaper, one of the newspaper, daily newspaper in Liberia, will be going back to the story. But I have a question to ask, gentlemen, with regard to just a reminder, if it's just joining while we're discussing the issues in Liberia, the former speaker, Jonathan Fonanti Kofa, and 4 others they've been sent to court for an arson attack on the Capitol building in December this last year. The seat of the legislature was attacked by fire. There was an arson attack. Let's say arson attack, as we call it. And because of that, I think 4 have been charged. They've been charged and been going to send to court. They're going to send to, you say Monrovia Court A. So Monrovia City Court. Monrovia City Court been sent. That's the capital. Criminal Court A. Yeah, been sent to decide that fate. That will be coming in a couple of weeks. That's the information we're getting now. If you just join me, I want you to share the show. And this is the bottom line. My name is Jamal Kamara. I got my colleagues here, Paul, the law chair play in London, and I have Linford Igongwe in Norway. We are discussing this topic tonight. Tonight it's a short issue. Probably you've heard it before. It's something interesting for Liberia because it's a hot political issue. It's a debating topic in Liberia, and it has to do with the political landscape in Liberia, the fate of the lawmakers, the former speaker, and 4 others. So now, going back to the story, we see on the front here is back to era of political prisoners. This is the one of the legislation, Honorable Belite, making this statement. The back of the era of political prisoners, gentlemen. I think he's saying that we didn't see them for years. George Weah period, Honor Ellen, whether there was one, I don't know. Honor George Weah, I think you should give credit to President George Weah. His 6 years period, there were no political prisoners. He boasted of this. And he could have had political prisoners. He managed to put it under control, and there was none. Now, this is the first of his kind. In the first 1.5 years, before 2 years, we have on the most experienced Liberian leader, which is President Joseph Barker. Can we give credit to George Weah leadership for? Can you take credit for this? Looking at the newspaper headline, guys.
Well, Jamal, this is a very interesting question you asked. For Obuka Denso to be given credit at this time, what does that tell you about the man who have 50-year experience?
No, and the question is, can we give you credit? Because in 6-year period, he managed to.
If you're making that comparison, can we give him credit? Just tell you that Obuka Denso now, people are saying, can we give him? Yes, we can get the Obuka Denso credit because he kept the peace. See? If that's it. So
he could have sent a couple of people to jail on political reasons, but he managed to hold the situational control. And he used to say in most of the speeches that Liberia is boast of no political prisoner, no journalists in jail. And that is the honor of George Weah leadership. You have the Ablak You said, what is that?
Yeah,
Kamara
freedom
A.
of
Kamara.
speech.
Kamara A. Kamara, freedom of speech, right?
Yeah.
It was an actor honor George Weah. Is that correct? Linford?
Yeah, it was in Actor Honor George Weah, Kamara, Abdullah Kamara,
Kamara Abdul Kamara, that freedom of speech. And
Yeah.
you see, George Weah said two things which you can speak of right now. Is he boasted of no political prisoner under leadership? No journalist was jailed under his leadership. Now, this is the first of its kind. These are lawmakers. I don't know about the parliamentary immunity for them. We don't know. How to any of you know here whether they have them as lawmaker, whether the immunities are. We don't know. If you know, please tell us what would when they have lawmakers immunity. But now, if I come to you, back to the era of political prisoner, we didn't see this for 6 years honor President George Weah. But now it's happening. This is what Musa Vede is saying. Are we come to the era for political prisoners?
Yeah, but let me play the devil's advocate a little bit. I think I've been hard on the government for a while.
Okay.
So far as I'm concerned, there's no political prisoners right here now in Liberia. No political.
But you said I want to correct you. You said the police director said that was a political case. They went to jail. They spent 2 days in jail. You should not be jailed. Why they were jailed?
Yeah, but listen, this cannot be called a political prisoner if they are convicted, because you see, the reason I'm saying this, the government is doing this cleverly. They are not aligning them with politics. They are saying that they committed crimes. So even if our former president and I go and steal, they will not jail me because our former president, they say, oh, because they made our former president, but they made a rule. See? So what they're trying to do is, of course, we know the case is political, highly political, and it's deep-rooted. But the thing is, they don't want to use it as political case. They want to make it as criminal case. You see the point I'm trying to make? So even if they incarcerate all these guys, and then human rights group come out, they'll say, no, these people are not political prisoners. They are not in jail for
But Linford, let me hold you back. Sorry, Linford. You said just now, you're saying to the honorable court because it's a political case.
Yeah. No, the criminal code A.
Oh, criminal code A. Yeah, criminal A code.
Yeah. So you see it. So the thing is, no, let me tell you. I'll give this caveat to Liberians. They say, the Liberian people, you ask them, why are you voting Chima? Why are you voting Paul? They say, oh, that Paul we know. Paul being again for long, that Paul we know. And that Paul, why you don't know? Because being again with you for long. They say, well, you know Paul good. Paul knows you're good. You see it? Baka knows the Liberian politics very well. So he knows how to get his way around. No, this is one old man who was sitting there and Allah, he's ready to die today. The next minute, by the time they made president, running all over the place. Yeah? Yeah. There's no rascal person equal to this old man. Because they've only been it.
Let's take a break and come back and we'll get politics.
I'm not talking to you as president. I'm just talking to you now as
you have the right. You have the right to say what you want to say. You got freedom. What?
Before you take a break,
yeah.
Before say something here about this paper, we need to look at it from the other angle.
Yeah.
And this newspaper is asking whether we are back to the era of political prison. I would say yes. And therefore, you cannot sugarcoat, because what happened here, this very president, he does not respect rule of law. Since he came to power. So somebody who does not respect the rule of law.
We'll counter that. There's a newspaper article.
Okay.
That we're gonna bring that here, guys. But Linford, you have access to the commercial. Can we take a commercial break? Come back. We'll bring.
Since my system went, I'm telling you,
look, Jamal, take your time. It's there. If you scroll down right after.
I'm telling you, I can't see anything. Nothing I can see.
All right, then. I don't think I have access to it. Now I'll be going through it for now. I want to take a quick break, but in the meantime, we'll take a quick musical break and come back. There's another news for airline. We'll be discussing whether the president, very experienced, 40 years in the government, is still obeying the law, or is he breaching the law of the country? We'll take a quick musical break and come back after we give our commercial.
Boy.
If we're pregnant, speak up.
Sexy. Only records, Now you better lick on out what you want me to, don't can show yourself. Got plenty of dancing, now you dancing, you get copy, I say don't can show yourself. Chani, Mr. Chani, I say to never bad, don't control yourself. You say you young for your sling on a papa bob, I say don't control yourself. You don't get money, you want eat shawarma, eat some pizza, don't control yourself.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal. Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hans Vodka, Hans Honey, Hans Bitter, and Hans Original Vodka. Hans Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drank Mama happy. Hans Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hans Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my core and my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We hustle. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Right. I once again want to say a big thank you for coming back, joining us. This is the Bottom Line Liberia Live. We're having a live discussion tonight. We're discussing Liberia, basically what's happening in the house right now. Former Speaker Fernando J. Kofa and 4 others being almost going to be indicted, we say. That's why they're saying this, by saying they'll be indicted. But they have the days in court. But let's see what's going to happen. A couple of weeks from now, the Criminal Court A in Monrovia will be deciding their fate. That is why we discuss it tonight if you join us. So wherever you join us, thank you for joining us. Always share the show. Be a part of the Bottom Line Liberia. We're here every Tuesdays and Fridays. My name is Jamal Kamara. I got my colleagues from Norway. That's Linfo Igwangwe and Paul Delorche from London. So, guys, now the second question is like the most experienced president in Liberia. Paul, you're saying something about he's been violating. Paul, do you hear me?
Hearing you, Jamal, hearing you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's a clicking sound. We're going to see what's happening. It could come from my end, but let's see what happens. Okay, I will see what I do. But in the meantime, let's get this thing going on. I'll put a news article up here. While we're doing that, we'll see there's a technical issue happening over our station, but we'll see what we can do. This is story, guys. Guys, look at this. I can't make it bigger. Can you read from that end? Bypassing the legislature again. That's the news perform page is saying that. There was something that was a lawmaker is leading the senator complaining that the executive over the clandestine as GTM said the deals and a refusal to see ratification. So the government, the executive branch of the government is carrying on some deal without the involvement of the legislature. John, Paul, just connect to what you were trying to say. Could you take it from here, please?
Well, with regards to this story, I think I have to link with Nokar.
Okay.
Yeah, this story, because what happened, there's some rectification in their the how they call it, the document regarding Nokar. The government want to give for all black to Nokar, and before that happened, they should have consulted the legislature. But now this guy, because he refused to respect the rule of law in Liberia, he do things the contrary. And this is why I was trying to say earlier. Somebody who does not respect the law, and people are saying that your case go to court, and that court there'll be the law will decide. This is the same court that decided that the tenure position were unlawful, and what the president did, he took decision and got rid of the people. So the guys going to court, I was trying to link it that people who does not respect the law, they will do anything to convict people because they don't care. That is in their nature, and that's why that people are saying, are we going back to the old days, the era of political prisoner? And with this government that does not respect rule of law, that bypass everything, what makes you think that you get justice in a country that people, the executive who does not respect the law? Supreme Court came up with a finding. They said that what they did, they built an information specify, made and gave it clarify who was the legitimate speaker. What happened? The government can say now we'll work with the imported speaker. So think on it. And this is why I'm trying to say that people who does not respect rule of law, you don't get justice on them. That's why I was trying to link up earlier.
Linford, with regard to this story we have here, I know you want to talk about it, but the question is, we've been on this platform, we've been speaking about the executive branch has been the one that leading the breaching laws in Liberia, more especially that has to do with the tenure positions, other law that's nobody respect. I mean, nothing has happened. There must be a way out, but what is not happening? The senators are there, the representatives are there. There must be a way out. You look at what happened with the court decision from Supreme Court regarding this speaker's position issue. But what is that we silent? Are we dormant? We don't know how to put the law in place? What's the problem? What do you think?
No, not us.
Paul saying that we keep violating, nothing's happening, and the executive branch is not violating. Who's responsible then?
When you say us, probably you are referring to Liberia. It's not all.
But that you get out there, like how many countries? If the law later, the Liberians should stand up and speak. Where are they?
Yeah, listen. You can carry all the Liberian people, you put them around the capital building. They will not go inside there. The people who there, the Liberian people put their trust in them, their power in them to go and act on their behalf. But they are not doing it. So it's not the Liberian people. So you don't need the whole Liberian people to go there. Few people, 10 people say can go demonstrate. One person can demonstrate and make the message clear. You know, I saw this afternoon, I saw a lawmaker, a senator that was handcuffed in the United States because this senator was standing against Donald Trump's policy. He was questioning, and because the authority didn't like it, so they had to handcuff him. And after that, I think they released him. He came back and he was talking to his people. So our lawmakers, they are the cause of all these things. Okay, and let me tell you one reason why we're having all the noise going on where capital building got to get burned, poor capital building got to get burned, or it's simply because the government of the day wants to control all the branches of government. The executive wants to control all the branches of government. And there's a reason why they want to do it. Because number one, the government's a criminal government, and so they don't want anybody putting check on them. Okay? They don't want anybody putting check on them. And so what do? Make sure that you got all of the powerful apparatus or the powerful branches of parts of the government under your control. You got a chief justice that will be submitted to you, and then you will soon be going. They will appoint their own chief justice. Then you got a justice minister that you appointed. Then you got a house speaker that you force on the people. Then you also got a president pro tem who is your stooge. So then the deal is done. Okay? The deal is done. And that's what they want. That's why we got all the court case going up and down. Or else the government will not battle. But because the government knows that once they control all these powerful instruments in the government, then of course they can get away with anything.
But
so
let me go to you and you answer the question. I think what you're just saying that don't you have any constitutional or legal mechanism if the executive branch is violating the law to put in place to protect the law of the country? Why this is not happening?
Who's supposed to enforce that law?
I mean, no, the constitutional and legal mechanism. The court, the Supreme Court. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I told you. Forget about the constitution. No, you can take the whole constitution and go lay in front of the executive, in front of Bwaka on a table. He pushes one side. He doesn't care.
So what should happen now? That's what I'm saying. Then what the coach so is the coach compromised?
Nothing can happen because listen, he has all the branches of government that are supposed to affect the constitution. Do what you're talking about. They got control of all of them. So what? Amen.
Yeah, okay, I got you now. I get you. So I understand
everybody that's supposed to do something. You got them under your control. So who will do what to you?
So is the House of Rosetta have the right to start the impeachment procedure of the president if there's
a who's supposed to preside what are the speaker, the vice president, all of them they are from the same party, and that's why I think a bipartisan
government politics.
Yeah, it would have been better. Where you got you see Norway, the leading party and the second leading party, they run the government. The leading party can't take any decision more than us.
Okay, I agree. I'll come back to you, Paul. This is quite an interesting thing. I see Lifa is saying that I was looking at the constitutional and legal mechanism where you will see the legislature and the court helping to help us to protect the law. Consider that is now Lifa just said that that's been manipulated or been compromised. Then another question go to civil society action, independent media, civil society organizations. Citizens can expose violation, organize peaceful demonstration. Why we're not doing that in Liberia? Let's forget about the legislature. Let's forget about the court because they are overriding the court decisions. What happened to the civil society and the media?
Paul, let me
just complete. Go ahead. What is not happening?
Paul, let me complete my thought on that. I told you nobody can do anything now. No, you put the people in the street. They bring hot water tank and start whistling on them. They shooting them with tear gas. They're using light bullet on them. So what do people die for? They will not die for anything because they will not stay and make any change. So the people will rather stay home. The only place I think the civil society is talking about, or we the common people, the only place we can act decisively to satisfy all is at the ballot box. But ask me, or ask yourself, are your people thinking? Are they thinking that way? Aren't they going to stay online for beg or right and t-shirt and vote for the same people in the next election? I leave it right there.
Look, Jamal, before you talk about the civil society, what become of the fourth estate? These are people that are supposed to be able to inform the nation of what happened because the microphone is very powerful. So if the fourth estate is not doing the work, although civil society also in Liberia where you have this people depending on politicians to give their hand out, what do you expect? You get a council of churches also that's sitting on board committees around the place, getting some 5,000 for being board member. They all cannot talk because they're getting hand out. Now, if all of these people getting hand out, there is a group of people that when you hear say member of the fourth estate that can challenge the government, challenge anyone when they're doing bad thing. They also what happened to them. So this is where the country, where's the country heading? Everyone can be that kind of dominant on everything. Somebody have to say something. So you have one loud mouth person in Yeke Koduba that doing the work of the fourth estate, doing the work of the civil society. So what kind of country we're in? And
let me differ with you a little bit. When it comes to the fourth estate, since I'm a member, or we all are members of the fourth estate, let me tell you one thing. The best,
Paul, can you mute yourself a little bit?
The best the media can do is what we are doing. And how many? No, I must give credit. I must give credit. Somebody bought that carrying cell phone around, calling the journalists. They are doing well because they are exposing the government. They are putting things out that people didn't know in the past, since there was no freedom, or everybody did not have access to at least camera and whatever. Every day you see something coming or something new coming out, they are doing their best. But again, you know what, you don't expect the journalists to go challenge the president the best we can do is Spoon. Let me all the way I get problem with Spoon, but Spoon have been hard on the government. They've been putting out information, closing argument, does the same thing. Okay, individuals with camera, they are doing the same thing. With our cell phone and camera, they are doing the same thing. But this government is just adamant. And you know, they say when the monkey ready to die, it can't hear wisdom. Now, I'm not talking about physical death. I'm just speaking metaphorically. That when the government know they will lose the next, they'll lose the next election, right? They know, so they will do everything. They will go down the highway, and they want to carry a lot of people down with them. So trust me, just 1.5 years in office, you got all these things. They can't listen. The president cannot listen. He violates all the laws. When code rule, he violates the rule of the code. When they talk about tenure position, I want to sweep it under the floor. Then he will bypass the legislature and sign documents and do, so that's what I said. The whole thing lies with the Liberian people. And Liberian people do know that they are elephants. They do know that they are heavy, because the elephants are heavy and strong. It can carry its own weight. So you will never know that he's heavy until when you step on maybe the little ants down there or the little deer there, now that deer will feel the weight. But if the Liberian people could know how heavy they are when it comes to electing leaders, and go to the ballot box and make sensible decision. No, let me tell you, some of these people will be crawling on their bellies. But again, they will go stand on, Liberian people will go stand online and wait for bag of rice and vote the same people in. And this is the problem we have. So the press can talk all they want. The press can write all they want. Front page Africa, what they right here. Eh? They have done everything, but still the people can't hear. Because the people know who they know the photos. The only people the government should be afraid of any press people. No. The only people the government should be afraid of are the photos. But because the photos are not doing anything.
And this is where the legislature come in. I say the 4S, you cannot go by just the executive, but the other crooks that there, the legislature that get bulk of the money. If you start going behind them individually, the fourth estate can do that, exposing these people. Big time.
But Paul, the issue of the challenges the journalists in Liberia are facing, it has to do with a couple of things. Threats, that's one. Second, they don't have their own financial, they are financially constrained. They can't operate their own because media institutions in Liberia depend on government contract to survive. So that's one thing. Yep. They don't have independent capacity to survive. So the chance of exposing corruption in Liberia is very slim, because we in Liberia, I never heard of that. That's where your cartoon journalism, where at the end of the press conference, journalists will wait around and get something from those people that are organizing the interviews and the press conferences to pay their way home and ask them how you want the street to be framed. So how will you expect the journalists to be fair, in that write-up or in that broadcast? So they are struggling to survive. They are facing challenges. Apart from the threat and other things, the situation, the environment has not been conditioned in a way that they will live independently, where you got to provide funds for their institution, their media institution, where they can be able to run the independent, like government should be able to give subsidy in terms of media, tangible, reliable, well-established media institution to be able to survive, not on the pocket of politicians or other people wanting to do. That's the struggle the journalists have in Liberia. Do you agree with me, Paul Linford?
Yeah, I agree with you to some extent. I agree with you to some extent, but again, when it comes to that, I look at it the other way too. No, let me tell you, I would say blame the photos, right? Because the photos are not listening. People are saying this thing, and you don't need somebody to tell you the same thing over and over and over and over, and you don't need somebody to do the same thing to you over and over and over before you know that it's happening. These people, they come and fool you, the photos, they give you burger and they tell you do this. After you vote them, they don't do anything for you. You stay for the journalists have talk. Now, you live in a lawless country where they find dead bodies everywhere, every day. Nothing happened. Okay? So even if I were Robin White in Liberia, I'll be careful, because the thing is, your life is not safe. Journalists talk, then they receive death threat. And the opposition leader talk, they receive death threat. Citizens go vote for that. They go to demonstrate for their own right, which is written in the Constitution. They can't waste how down there. Some of them they beat them, they cripple them, they go home. That one cripple for nothing. They'll be there all the time. nothing will happen for them. So the people have just reached a point where they become like the zoo, the animals in the zoo. Because the animal in the zoo, imagine the first time they grab the elephant, put in the zoo. That guy fought. But after 1 week, when he get hungry, the same people who put in there, they didn't want to bring food for him to eat. They gave him water. So certain things get things, but I think let me just agree that this is where I'll be for the rest of my life. So let me just say that the same thing that happened to Liberian voters. You see, you vote for the people. The next time, by the time they tip out, after 1 month, they start using hot water tank on your, okay. So they say, okay, we get used to it now. And the media will not do anything more than what they're doing now. Trust me. They are exposing. It is left with the citizens to see. The media will talk and write. Yeah, but what are the citizens doing the voters? Because they got the power. So me, I'll always blame the voters until the voters can start to think, to know their own rights, to know what to do for their own betterment. Brother, forget it. You can even bring Angel Gabriel to be journalist in Liberia. He will not do nothing. Because listen, the government, Waka know the people. The people know him and he knows them. So you think any difference? No. He knows them. They know each other. I know Paul. You can't tell me about Paul. I know Paul. I know Jima. So you see it?
Jima, the reason why I say where's the fourth estate is because Linford keep going to the voters or confuse voters in Liberia. This is where voter education coming with the fourth estate leading the charge. What am I saying this? I want to post something on here just for a minute. And if you hear a woman talking in the market, blaming one of the media institutions by the role they play. So the fourth estate have a role, but Jema answered that question, said that these guys, they're in the pocket of the leaders. So they cannot talk, and which I agree with Jema.
No, but
you blaming the voters.
I will not agree with you totally. Listen.
All right, let me do this here. Jema, please allow me so we can.
What the Ghani or the guy who get from Africa, I don't think he going to receive money from one minister.
How many Liberians can read? This is the question. You live for when you're behind a microphone in Liberia, people could listen to you. That carry weight. But if you're in the pocket of the government,
don't go back to Linford before you play the video. Linford, you are running a private media station or government-run station?
No, it was media. It was private.
What makes it private? It was on a teller. It was teller.
No, I started working with LRC, which was not political.
With a Catholic radio station, which is well funded, right?
Yeah. LRC, during the wartime, it was private. It was teller station.
Okay. Now, the question we agree with, we all playing a game. I mean, you're saying the right thing here. The Liberian media, the fourth estate, does not have the capacity to look after themselves.
Yeah.
So they become vulnerable, susceptible to corruption. They become a mute ticket for, gentlemen. Whether you like it or not.
I just want us to drag this thing involving the media.
But then tell me one competent media institution in Liberia that look after itself, that won't look at government adverts, government contract, all run after government contract in Liberia to survive. None of them.
Having government contract.
Because they pay. Because there are two institutions. Two institutions. I'm looking at the print media right now. Two institutions in Liberia, the NGOs and the government, they gave these adverts to the print media to publish, and they pay. No private institution pay.
Yeah, but listen, the point I'm trying to make is
they need to pay. They need the government to survive.
The point I'm trying to make is that look, you do need how many times, hey man, Chima, if I slap your 2 ears, you wait for the president to come tell you, oh, Linford just slap you. No, you don't need. If you eating, I can't kick your bowl of rice or the water you going to stay by way. I think I waste it. You wait for dinners or the country say, oh my man, yes, all the man waste water. No. How many times we have not talked press? How many times even they won't do it enough to give anybody sense? How many times the politicians had not fool you and they lie to you? So more can tell you, oh, the people lie to you before you know. When you ask them, they say, oh, but I need no, so we'll vote for him. Whether he came or said, nah, they say you came my mind, came apart, I'll vote for you. That sensible people there.
All right,
Eh?
all right, guys. We got 10 more minutes to wrap up, guys. We'll take a round. I want you guys to tell me the effective and irrelevant way to deal with the while government continue to violate these constitutional laws, breach the constitutional agreements, law, and what are way around it. Let's look at the borderline because we are borderline. The borderline of it is what? Keep breaching laws. The tenant positions. Yeah. the tenant positions for and the what other one? I mean, that's one key one that we all know about, right? And now look at what's happening. They're violating, not listening to judicial decisions. What the court recently made, they just came agreeing. The executive branch of government came against it. How the only way to look at it. What is the relevant, effective mechanism that we can do that government can listen and I think the four branches, three branches of government, legislature, executive, and judiciary can work together and all respect, take their course there. I mean, do the right thing. What do you think we can do? What's the bottom line on this? What's the right, effective mechanism and effective way to this?
Well, let me come in. The right way is protest. And protest not by a group of people, young people, but a protest from the equal stream. What do I mean by equal stream? The political leaders from the big party, say for example, CDC or ANC, that can speak to the government and say, look, if you don't stop what you're doing and hold their feet to a fire, because those are the people. George Weah speak, he get weight. Cummings speak, he get weight. Those are the people that can hold that government to stop what it's doing. But when these politicians become mute, not seeing anything, they gave room for the nonsense that is happening. Your equal strength can make you to stop. This is what happened in Liberia. How on earth people take power, they start violating, then you say we gave this government one whole year, will not say anything. That means you get a free pass to murder who they want to murder, and you will not say a word. Only then can stop it. But the common man, if you put the common man on the street, what happened? Lifa said it, they will can't tear gas that one. But the one who gets strength equal to you, that when he speak international community, listen, you afraid of that one. But they're not talking. That's why you get these guys with free pass. Until that happens, the nonsense will stop. That means, do you know we can call say, Joseph Barker stepped down because he's not doing the right thing. All sedition around the 15th county march on the capital or everywhere. 3 days, the government will fall. You know it can happen. Communists can do the same thing. Those are the politicians that can make things that happen, but they decide to be, let man a peace. Where peace? The man violating all the laws, and you say, for the sake of peace, that's why for nothing they're in jail, and that's why they're going to prosecute them. Manning the peace, and that's as here only the politicians, those key players that are just called, they can make the difference.
Mr. Goy.
Okay, let me agree with Paul on that. Because if they like you're going to play football game, right? There's this tournament, and you'll get one team ruling and a team doing all kind of thing. The only way the other teams will be effective is when their coach goes there, the team manager on their feet, they start talking, yo, let's go. Kick your ball, hey, my man, take the win, impress that man. You see, but if you just sit down home, you say, my man, you'll go play. The coach not there, nobody there, they put you on the pole, they put you they put you on the feet. You don't even get water to drink while you're playing against the other team. You'll not be effective. So I'll agree with Paul on that one. But again, I will continue to blame our people until they can learn how to do the right thing. Mr. Cummings said this thing some time ago. You don't need anybody to tell you that, you're hungry. Not the government. You didn't need somebody to tell you that no medicine in your hospital. When you went to the hospital, they didn't admit you. Unless you faint, but if your eye open and you in pain, you go, the person no bear. They turn you around. Do you need somebody to come tell you? No. Somebody need to tell you your children are in school. When they pray, they sit down, all of them sit down crying, looking at each other more. No. So the people got to know and act. You see it? And the kind of society we have, the society we have, the law and order is not followed. It's not observed by the lawmakers or by the people who are supposed to observe it. So you, the common man, you are already victim. So the only way you can avenge yourself, the only way you can revenge is at our battle box. There, because if you go mass, they'll have order thank you. If you go mass, they'll tear gas you. So just hold your peace. Time to vote. Remember that these people, they suppress you. Time to vote. Nobody will be there to take and mark this one. That the place supposed to take revenge, but they will not do it. Sometimes at that time,
but live for. If these people don't respect law, you go vote, they cheat you. You can't do anything too. So this is the situation you face with.
No, but
you wait until they decide to cheat you.
If everybody, not everybody, we get 4.5 million people or 5 million people like bro. If 4 million cast vote for somebody, nobody can actually that.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It happened in Liberia history. I will take you. Remember Charles DBK? The Charles DBK incident in Liberia will have broke so many records. And we think on it, they're going election in Liberia. The second round have more voters than the first round. So you think on it.
Yeah, the people who decide not to vote the first round, they say we're going to vote for the second round.
All right.
Anyway, Doug, take a quick commercial break. Come back. Want to say a big hello. Thank you very much for joining. Until then, go for a commercial break. Oh God, like very interesting.
This is through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. The spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land we embrace.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hans Vodka, Hans Honey, Hans Bitter, and Hans Original Vodka. Hans Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drank Mama happy. Hans Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hans Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000-979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my core and my blood, every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it, we hustle. And forgot that number one, from Liberia all around, in supermarket store and everywhere, and forgot that number one,
Jamal, take that down.
Right, thank you very much. Sorry about that. It's a quick technical problem. We want to, by way of information, by the end of next month, we will be having a big program. The Liberian Umbrella Organization, you will be having a massive program in Belgium. So we'll be bringing more details on that. We've got a media team We'll be telling us much about that in our subsequent editions. In any case, I want to say a big thank you for whoever joined us. We're almost at the end of another edition of the Button on Liberia. Tonight, to discuss tonight topics where I got my colleagues Linford Egwangwe from Norway, Paul Delors Triple from London. We're talking about international scene. Tonight, we were discussing what happened in the House. Fonati Kofa, the former speaker, and 4 others been accused of the arson case on the Capitol building in Liberia. And also we're looking, why is it that the executive branch of the government is not respecting the laws in the country, keep breaching the laws? What happened? What can we do to stop this? That was our main topic tonight. And I want to say a big thank you to wherever you join us from. I will give my guys the last round and we can say a happy weekend. I'll take it to Paul. Paul, what do you got?
Well, I just want to say a happy weekend to everyone. Let me take that word from you. It was a good discussion, and the situation we discussed earlier about the Middle East, we all need to embrace ourselves because Iran going to retaliate what Israel have done. This will have effect on everyone in the world. And also what is happening in Europe combined with the Middle East, I think it's about time now that we start looking for our ticket money to go to Africa, but some way we can say that in Boca, Jeddah, or River G, why these guys are using nuclear weapon on themselves, and we could be the continent that will save the rest of the human species. It look like the way things happening, this is scary, and if Iran react, with America step in, with China step in, is this the World War III that we're looking up to? I don't know, but this is scary bit, and we all need to embrace ourselves. And the guy who walked away by, I don't know what is miracle, the plane crash for one man to just survive. I think this guy going to live long. Yeah, and to the Liberia situation, it's a witch hunt in my mind and my view, my opinion. But what is happening in Liberia for those lawmakers that were accused of burning the Capitol building, there haven't been any concrete evidence to say these were the people that burned the building. This, so to me, in my mind, is a political witch hunt. So I would say to our audience, thanks for being with us. We're back here again. It's good that you always with us. When we appreciate your comments that you made. We shall be back soon. Guys, it was a good show in my mind.
Info.
I will start from the home front. This is charity start at home and ends abroad. So, we sit down, we do all this talking, we blame each other. Oh, now the media not doing well. Oh, no, the lawmakers not doing well. Oh, no, the politicians. But let me tell you one thing. The media people have been in that thing. We're looking for money. The good story will carry. If you are in the print, the more good, the more catchy your headline is, the more sales you will make that day. If you are in the electronic, your headline, in Liberia, when we used to read, they say the first 4 or 5 story headline, then they say, and now the news in detail. So that and you see in journalism, broadcasting, especially electronic broadcasting, with respect to the not the visual one, the TV, but radio is the most difficult production, because imagine posting now with one important guest in a restaurant. Waiting I'll put on the radio, Paul not looking at me. Waiting I'll say for Paul attention to move from that sumptuous dinner with a glass of wine on the table. We'll have important discussion to kind of listen to me. So I gotta make my headline interesting. With the one we're doing here, this is visual communication. They want simple. You do any crazy thing, somebody they ask to pay, I want to see you. So whether the person want to pay attention, say I will see you. But to do broadcasting where no visual is involved is difficult. That's why you see the media people do all over catching headline. So now they blame us. But again, you who blaming all the people, you also all the news people not doing what. What about you? What you doing? You got a power. The constitution says that you can elect these people. But still you go and make mistake, then you want us to correct it. So you start blaming the media. You'll do your own too. And how you can do your own? When you go vote, then they people tell you what to do for you. The monarch say, come for one t-shirt, vote for me, I'll bring his card down. If the man will bring his card down, why you bring his card down now? It's just like you always believe in God. They say, oh, what breastfeeding now when you go up in heaven, you wear your robe and walk on the golden street. But here you be walking the tongue into it makes sense to you. The man promise you, I'll do this for you. Then you vote him. Then the man pay fair and ride a horse. So you gotta learn sense too. But now we're telling the media got to do its part, and our lawmakers, they are not working. And this is the main reason why the government, the president, the executive will make sure that he can have grip on all of the other two branches of government. Once they are under control, everything finished. Then we'll move on to the international front. And Paul, while we're talking something get clear to me now. My man, no big country like America. France, anybody who get nuclear weapon, if Iran and Israel start fighting, no big country will go there. Somebody ask me why. Okay. No, the people have a France. When the people have reached that point where they were never involved in that thing. People will use a possible country to fight each other. The country that they don't want to, they don't want to develop, they don't want to use. They say Israel go bomb Iran. Iran too can start bombing them. Then at the same time, America they say now feeling safe because what? Iran will be paying attention on Israel. They will not want to fight America. Okay? Russia pay attention on Ukraine. Russia ain't got time to go fight America. Or to go, so they think that common politics, geopolitics. So all the things we gotta look at both ways. Nobody should think that by the time they throw a bomb to Iran, or to Israel, then America will start bombing. Trust me. So Benjamin Netanyahu, you're putting your people at risk for nothing. Don't think any big brother will come from anywhere. I'm telling you all the thing. Trust me. No, I was afraid before, right? When I started hearing all the things, I said, hey, God, coming to the law. France, that one go for it. The best will do, they give us some drone, they don't want drone. They don't want some weapon, they give you go do your thing. We say that here. Trust me, we in Liberia, we are safe. Paul, trust what I'm telling you today. It may change your ball. I'm not going, it will change your ball. I'm looking at it that way. The PP boss, they made a fully sport ball to fight each other. The same thing they've been doing in Africa, and they doing it in the Western world. You'll go for each other. We probably say that we the financiers, But man, we who came from Washington will know the thing. The big boss sitting there drinking while the small boy killing each other on the front. Oh, General, yes, sir. We invaded the people today. Yeah, yeah, they were. You'll go back in. You see it? That's what they're doing. Israel is being used. And thinking that somebody will come on their behalf, the law. The best they can do for you is to give you intelligence, to give you weapon or whatever. I'll leave it right there. And so, guys, it was a good show. For those of you who follow us the first time, I want to say thank you, Moses Kia. Thank you. Of course, Adela Brown. Bataki is part of the show already. And Francis, he couldn't be with us today physically, but he's been on and making some comments. So I want to say thank you very much. We'll be here on Tuesday. And in Norway now, we're having a lot of activities. Tomorrow, I'm traveling a little bit south. One Liberian family having confirmation for their child. So we got to be there. This is what we do here in Norway. We support each other. No matter how far it is, we'll drive to go there or we'll fly to go there. So it's going to be like 5 hours driving tomorrow. So we're going to create that occasion for our family friend whose son will be confirmed and will be going to confirmation tomorrow. This is a tradition in Norway. I think when the child is 15, 16 or something like that. So we'll be going there tomorrow. And so Tuesday we're going to be here. And we hope that there will be some new development in this case from Liberia. And let me get Eno again back home. The case is political. The case, let me put it this way, is political. But they want to criminalize it. And the only little ground they got to criminalize it is the burning of the Capitol building. Okay? If the Capitol building had not burned, they were going to start, maybe they were going to say, oh, Fernando Kofa, delay the work of the government. That would be purely political. Maybe that the next case we're going to have. But coincidentally, the Capitol building got burned. Now they got something to criminalize it. Because when they criminalize it, then they got escape route. They will not say, oh, we put the people in jail because of political reasons, but we put them in jail because they were criminals. You see it? That's why I said there was not I mean, even if they put in jail, they will not be considered political prisoners, but will be considered as criminals. So thanks a lot, you guys.
Once again, thank you very much, Linford. That was Linford Egon Goa in Norway. We got our man Paul Delord to the play. We say thank you. That brings us to the end of another edition of the Bottomline Liberia on the Friday. Please don't forget to join us on the Tuesday. Will be a fresh edition. A lot of stories will be coming up. And please always subscribe and share the show. Anytime you come on, we'll let you know. And want to wish you a pleasant weekend from Europe. And bye-bye.